Quite a lot. Quite a lot. Look at this one. This is weird. So in the West, if a billionaire goes afoul of the government, basically the government kind of can't do shit about it, can they? That, you know, they can maybe tack on some fines or whatever. You can't really do anything. You know, so basically in the West, the billionaires run the country, right? All right, so check this out. This is from businessinsider.in. Where is Jack Ma? Questions arise about the billionaire's whereabouts as Alibaba faces scrutiny from the Chinese government. And now this is one of those ones that's a little bit strange, because you would expect, right, these billionaires are going to be closely tied to the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, and you would think that they would be able to get away with whatever they want, right? Well, I guess the CCP has different ideas. So here we go. Jack Ma, the Chinese billionaire currently under scrutiny by the government of China, has reportedly not been seen in public for several weeks. This has led to speculations that Ma could be missing. According to recent reports, Ma was scheduled to appear for the filming of his own talent show, Africa's Business Heroes, but was instead replaced by another Alibaba executive. The Chinese e-commerce giant told Financial Times that Ma couldn't appear on the show due to a conflict in schedules. Jack Ma's whereabouts have come under questioning at a time when his companies, Alibaba and Ant Group, have increasingly come under scrutiny in China. Alibaba and Ant Group, founded and guided by Ma, are currently faced with an antitrust probe for alleged monopolistic practices. And okay, so interestingly, China suddenly cares about a monopoly. Isn't that weird, right? So okay. So the thing is, he's been speaking out a little bit against the Chinese banks. Here we go, in the bottom part. So Ma came under intense scrutiny after he publicly criticized the Chinese regulators and called the country's banks pawn shops. Mortgages and guarantees are for a pawn shop, but if we go to extremes in relying solely on collateral assets, certain enterprises will pledge all of their assets, and the pressure for them is enormous, he had said in October of 2020. And so, of course, right, you do that, and what's up? I see there, Believe. So if you do that and you cross the Chinese government, I think it's pretty clear what happens, right? So not only is he missing now, is he in hiding? Is there something else going on here with this and Alibaba and the CCP? But not only that, so he criticizes the Chinese banks. He's a billionaire in China that supposedly should be able to get away with what he wants. But now China is concerned about a monopoly, so they're actually going after his company with the government, the full power of the Chinese government. So it kind of tells you, like I said, if you don't play ball with the CCP in China, they'll come get you, and they're proving. So you remember Hillary Clinton? She would say, "No executive too big to jail." Well, China lives by that shit. if you go after China, then yeah, they're going to come after you, and so that's really the way it is. And so pretty scary stuff here. So not only that, right? So not only are they coming after him in an antitrust lawsuit for monopolistic practices, right? When of course you have to be closely tied to the CCP to succeed in China anyway. But this is also notable here. This is from Twitter, and this is tweeted by Business Insider India, which is where this article came from. Let me link it. So the scrutiny came down heavily on him after Jack Ma had gone on to publicly criticize the Chinese regulators and had called the country's banks pawn shops. Ma, who once held the tag of wealthiest man in Asia, has seen his net worth tumble. So figure that out, right? If he was one of the richest people in China, and now suddenly, and one of the richest people in the world, of course, but now suddenly he finds himself missing. Now, is that actually missing? Like maybe kidnapped, detained, maybe Jamal Khashoggi? Who knows, right? Like who knows what's going on with that? Maybe I would think he's smart enough to understand that he's probably at huge risk, and he's probably in hiding, would be my guess. But again, you go afoul of China, and these are the things that happen in the world we live in, right? Once again, this is not making this shit up. This is not fun and games. This is not. This is the world we live in, and somehow, again, we're supposed to pretend that all this is normal and all this is fine, and we shouldn't worry about human rights or governments coming after companies because they speak out against them. And who knows? Maybe this guy, it ends up tragic for this guy, and he ends up missing for good, right? I mean, it's things like this have happened before in the past in different capacities, whether it's politics or whether it's commerce or whatever's going on here. Private sector, it's ugly. This is ugly stuff. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this as it develops. As typical of us, if something changes here, we'll talk about it. If it's worth